Alright, we got a Whirlpool French door refrigerator, and it is not dispensing ice. So you can hear that motor turning and no ice coming out. So we're going to get in here, get this ice box out, and we're going to check out this auger motor. And we verified that the auger motor is working, so we're going to get this whole unit out. So first thing you got to do is get that panel off, and you need something small to fit in that hole and pry that down. So once you pry it down, you can pull that cover off, and you get this harness disconnected, because that auger motor is connected to this whole ice maker unit. So once you get that harness disconnected, you lift up that clip and you start pulling. You will feel some resistance going across that fill tube, so you just keep pulling and pulling, and eventually it'll break free. Boom, there she goes. And I'll show you what's going on with this auger motor. Whenever this thing is turning, it's stripped. So whenever it's trying to dump the ice out, the motor just spins and it doesn't turn the auger that's inside with the ice, and it don't dump it out because it won't turn the auger because it's stripped out. So you'll see that here in a second. I'm turning the yoke, and that motor's not turning like it's supposed to, especially whenever there's resistance on it. I mean, it just spins and spins and spins. Like, it's not supposed to be that easy. So we're gonna swap out this auger motor and yoke today. So if you need the yoke and the auger, look in the description below. You'll see some links for them. So go ahead and pick those up if you need them. The fun part is getting off this yoke. With it being stripped, you need to pry it somehow, and also it's reverse thread. So righty loosey, lefty tighty. It's the opposite of regular threads. So you want to turn it clockwise to get the yoke off. And it takes a little bit of time, but you can get yourself a hammer or crescent wrench. In this case, this is the heaviest thing I had to use in my tool bag. My other hammer is a 3-pound sledge, and didn't want to use that on it, so I got my crescent wrench here. But yeah, just keep on prying and hitting it with the hammer, going clockwise, and eventually you'll get it off. After we get that yoke off, we can work on getting that motor replaced. Yeah, it does take a little bit of time to do this, so be patient with it. If you keep at it, eventually you'll get it. And I think, yeah, there we go. We finally got it free. It probably took me 10-15 minutes to get that yoke off, but slow process, but once you get it done, it's not too bad from here. When I was looking at the threads, the yoke threads actually look pretty good, and the auger motor threads are definitely stripped out, but we went ahead and got both just in case, because you don't want to do this again in a year or 6 months or something like that. So go ahead and get them both. But yeah, there's only 3 screws holding on this motor, so you just take those screws out, and then yeah, you got those wires you got to disconnect, and remember which way they go. So I think it's the pink one's closest to you when it's laid in this direction, and the white one is furthest away. But this is the new motor. We're gonna hook it up. Pink closest to you, white furthest away, and don't forget about that ground wire. We're gonna put it into place, and we're gonna put the screws back in. Hardest part is getting off that yoke. So as soon as you get that yoke off, it's going to go, pretty quick for you. But get it into place, put the screws back in, and then after that you'll put on the washer and the yoke. And remember, it's reverse threads, so lefty tighty, righty loosey. But yeah, screws going in, then the yoke on, and then you can put this guy back in. Nothing to it. Whenever I pulled this ice maker out, I did have to drain the water out. If you have ice in there, you may, get some water on your countertop or something like that. But if you have to remove the ice, after you get this guy back in, if you don't fill the ice maker back up, it's going to take a while for it to make ice again. So I'm going to show you how to get this ice maker restarted after we get this thing back in there. But yeah, you put it back in its hole and you push all the way back till it clips into place. Then you get the harness connected, and then you'll put that cover back on. But now you want to get into diagnostics. So you want to hold the 2 left buttons for 3 seconds. It'll count down for you. And you go to test 25. And this is the ice maker test, because you don't have power on that ice maker all the time. So you got to go into diagnostics, go to test 25, and then boom, we have power there. So now you want to get that cover off of that ice maker. And I was able to get it by hand. You'll see here. But if you can't get it by hand, you'll have to get a small screwdriver and pry it off. But after you get that cover off, you want to remove that, and you want to get a jumper wire and jump between the T and the H. And you'll see that dial start to move. And then you'll hear a small little audible click. And then you can remove that wire and then put that black piece back on, and then put the cover back on. And then it'll take a few minutes, but you should hear it fill back up. And as long as you do this, it should start making ice in the next 2, 3, maybe 4 hours. If you don't do this step, it may take another 24 hours or so before it'll start making ice again for you. But that's it, guys. We're going to go ahead and test this auger motor, because that's the whole reason we did this video here. Ice is going to come out. But that's it. That's how you replace an auger motor, guys. If this helps, give me a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.